Okay, let's talk about setting up a session for performance. In other words, to DJ a track. How are we going to set things up? So I'm going to go back to this thing that we made in the previous section. Okay, so let's say we wanted to use this as a live performance. We wanted to DJ this in a set. So the first thing that I'm going to do is bounce out the stems. Okay, so the term stems can mean a few different things depending on who you're talking to. It could mean each individual track, or it could mean the groups of tracks. So for my purposes here, I'm going to treat it as the groups of tracks. I don't want the ability to launch every single one of these tracks. I want to kind of pare it down to the elements that I'm going to want to control independently. So before I do anything, I'm just going to combine these into single loops so that everything stays in sync. So like, see how this one is shorter and it's actually 2 clips? What I'm going to do here is just select this whole thing and press Command J. That's going to combine it into 1 clip. Okay, easy enough. Same thing with this one. I'm just going to make this be the whole length. You may or may not need to do this depending on how you're bouncing things, but it's just kind of habit that I've gotten into. So I'm going to select this whole thing and press Command J. It's going to convert it into a clip that is the whole length. So now if I loop each one of these clips, they're going to be exactly right. Now, let's bounce everything out. So I know I'm going to want this voice to be its own thing. Okay, so I'm just going to solo that one and export it. So I'm going to go to File, Export. I already have something selected, so I know that my start and length time is correct. Now, when you're in this window, you could export all individual tracks. That's going to give you an audio file for every track that we have here, and that can work for some stems. But because I'm going to group a bunch of things together, I'm not going to do it that way. So I just have this one soloed, so this is all we'll hear. Okay, and let's go. So let's call this Vox, and we'll bounce that out. The next thing I'm going to want is these drums by themselves. Right? Now if I solo this, I'm not going to get that delay in there. So let's solo that delay also. Add in that echo. We'll add that delay back in when we set this up in session view. For now, let's just solo it as is and spit it out. So export audio, master, but it's soloed. Let's say drums. Okay, next let's see what's here, what this is. Okay, this is clicky stuff. It's weird stuff. This is the piano stuff. Clicky stuff. Clicky stuff, and clicky stuff. Okay, so let's put all our clicky stuff together. Cool. That works. So let's export this, and let's just call this clicky. And I'm really just trying to group things together as much as possible. So now I'm going to take everything else that works. And what do we call this? This is like the ambience of the track. So let's call it ambience. Okay, so now I have all my stems from this track. If I take all of those things I just bounced out, those 4 tracks that I just bounced out, load them into clips and play them all at once, I'm going to have this. So let's do that.